Hey, how's it going, guys? Jackson here with Toasty DIY, and today we're going to be taking a look at this North American Arms Mini Revolver. So this specific one, because they do have quite a few different ones, is the NAA 22M. So this only shoots the Magnum 22 bullets, which I'll show you a comparison of the 22 LR versus the Magnum. But this one has the 1 5/8 inch barrel, which is a little bit longer than I believe their other option of I think it's a 1 1/8 inch barrel, which basically comes to right about here, right where the actual unloading pin is. So, I mean, the first few things to point out about these revolvers that make them a lot different than your standard revolvers, for one, they're 6.2 ounces unloaded, so they're extremely light, which is, in my opinion, super cool how light they are. When you look at something like a 380, like one of the smallest ones even, those are usually about 10 ounces for like the smallest concealed ones. So these ones do have a really big weight advantage to them. They're also all metal, obviously, besides the wood grips, which is also really impressive, just showing how little it weighs, even though it's made with really strong metal. So to actually unload this, you do have to take this pin out. This is probably one of the biggest nuisances of this gun. And then you actually take the whole entire cylinder out, and then voila, you have access to all of your ammo. You do have to individually discharge each one. These are obviously, freshly loaded 22 Magnum. And to show you guys the difference, this is a 22 Magnum here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull one of these out. So this is 22 Magnum versus 22 long rifle. You can see a pretty big difference. 22 Magnum, 22 long rifle. It's almost double the length. The 22 Magnum have a much higher velocity. Obviously, these have a really sharp tip as well, but these are also a little bit of a fancier bullet. I mean, these ones here are basically just target practice. They're the 22 Super Extra 40 grain. And then these ones here are 25 grain, but they're 2100 FPS, which is a lot more than these guys here. Now, one thing I do want to go ahead and point out right away is that, yes, these 22 long rifle will fit in here. However, you do not want to fire them out of it, because if you see the noticeable difference, there's a much bigger gap, and I can actually wiggle this one around slightly. Some major problems, even something like the barrel exploding by chance. But as you can see here, to really show it, I can barely wiggle this one, and if I throw this one in here, I got a lot of wiggle room, and you don't want that. That's how you could, have some serious danger. So don't put any 22 LR. They do sell conversion barrels. So basically, cylinders. Basically, all this is literally just the exact same cylinder that's just bored slightly smaller to fit 22 LR. And at that point, it should work with any of their guns. I'm not totally 100% on that, but based on the research I did, it's supposed to be able to work with any of their North American arms, as long as it's the right cylinder. And then to reinstall it, they have these little notches on it. You basically just come in here from the right side and then just slide it on like that. And then you take this guy right here and slide all the way back on, and that's it. It's single action only, so you can't squeeze the trigger without having the hammer cocked, which I'll go ahead and show you guys the action on it now. We're going to go ahead and make sure that we're being safe here. We have the cylinder out, nothing actually in the chamber. So the hammer pullback is actually very satisfying. It's a really high quality, heavy feel, and I mean it's pretty heavy. Like, if I had to guess, I would say it's probably about 7-8 pounds of pullback, give or take. And this thing bears is a super light frame. As you can see, it says 22 Magnum on the side here as well. They do sell guns that come with the cylinder adapter, and it also will usually say 22 LR and Magnum on the side. So that's why I said don't quote me 100%. I'm not totally sure if you're able to buy a new cylinder and make this work with it. So another couple things that I wanted to show is that these actually do come, I believe, every time with this case here, which is a really awesome case. It's actually solid metal. It comes with some nice branding on it. I like this too. They're saying keep your gun secure, especially even something small like this, because a lot of people are going to look at this and think it's a toy, but it's not. It's a gun just like any other one, so it needs to be treated safely. It does come with keys, so this is actually, it's surprisingly a nice lockbox for coming with the gun and everything. I believe I got this one right at about $220. And then the next thing I want to show you is this little holster. These are really popular on Amazon and eBay. If you literally just type in, 22, or sorry, American Arms 22 revolver holster, these will come up. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this back in and show you guys how it fits, because there's a lot of complaints that they don't fit well, but I personally have not had any issues with how it fits. I think it's actually pretty satisfying. So, you get it in here, make sure it's nice and firm, and I mean it fits in there really nicely. Obviously, if you're doing any covert op stuff and you're going upside down, it'll you know what, it doesn't even fall out. I was gonna say it'll probably fall out, but it doesn't. So it is definitely on the snugger side of things, but it's not like it's just gonna fly out or anything. I don't really see the major issue. It's meant to go inside of waistband as well, but you could technically wear it either way. I mean, it could go outside just fine. You know, inside obviously, if your pant line is here, it'll just be like that, which in my opinion is perfectly fine. It's a very comfy holster overall. I think these things are just amazing looking. I had a 22 Smith & Wesson Victory 22 that, you know, is an actual target pistol that shoots 22 LR, and you know, those it was fun, but this one here I just think is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just fun to shoot. And these 22 Magnums, they really don't play around for their size. You know, them being almost double a 22 LR, they're pretty impressive, and it has a decent kick to it. This gun though is definitely easy to shoot. I mean, it's loud because it has a short barrel. It's not incredibly accurate. I think you can be pretty accurate from about 10 yards. You know, you can definitely hit. I would say within like a 1 foot radius of where you're aiming. One thing to note as well is the actual safety on these it's kind of interesting. It's basically a half cock safety, where essentially when you want to get this out, which I'll go ahead and do this in like reverse order. So we'll go ahead. We have nothing in here right now, nothing in the chamber. So right now you can see the firing pin is struck all the way through, like it would have hit a bullet there. So you basically put it to this half cock position. So right there we just hit it. So this half cock position is like, it's just the ultimate safety. You cannot squeeze the trigger because it's only single action. You have to actually, and you can't push the hammer forwards either. So there's no way for it to strike. It literally has to have, you know, a full 7-8 pounds of pull. And I mean, it is very heavy for it to be able to fire now. So to put your cylinder back in, you can see we're on basically, you know, it's not cocked at all right now. Got half there. And then we'll go ahead and put these back in because they decided to fall out. So with the half cock on, go ahead and slide that in. Sometimes it likes to go all the way through for some reason. I think it's mainly if you don't have it perfectly on one of these little grooves here. There we go. So now we're in the middle, and then you just line up this groove here, and then there we go. So she's basically ready to fire. If we were to fully pull this back now, just single action and you squeeze the trigger. But it's nice though having this kind of peace of mind. You can see the hammer's not even close to touching the actual back of the bullet. So the only way for it to possibly strike right now, I mean, I can squeeze the trigger even if it won't do anything. I have to fully cock it back.
Oh, God.
So, I mean, overall, for its size, weight, you know, concealability, I think it's a really cool gun. That's pretty much all I can think about as far as, you know, my first impressions on this. I'll also have a video of it shooting as well, of course, at the range. They have super nice build quality, which pretty much anybody will tell you about North American arms. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.